All right, what's going on, everybody? It's been a minute or two since I live streamed, it's been a minute or two since I even painted. So that's what we're going to be doing. Is I'm going to be jumping back into some painting here. Gotta grab some materials real quick and ducking under the cameras. I guess I could just move in front of the cameras, but I just needed to duck in front of the cameras real quick and get some materials. Let's see. So we are here and we are live. How great is that? And if you're checking out from X, aka Twitter, art streaming. Here we go. All right. So experimenting with art streaming on Twitter, and we'll see how that goes. But as we move forward, this is going to be moving back into painting. So I stopped painting for a little bit so I could do some drawing, spend some more time doing some drawing. But for now, we're going to focus on getting back into a little bit of painting. This is a portrait I worked on a little while ago, and it's not finished yet. Got a couple things to edit on here. But for sure, this is a piece that I have some other pieces I would like to work on. So I'm trying to see how I want to position my stuff. I haven't painted in a little while, so getting all this setup back to normal is a little different. So anyway, I'm not even sure if my brushes still work because it's been such a long time that my brushes have probably stiffened up, gotten so dry. And on top of that, I'm about to open this up and get a huge whiff of old dried paint. Whew. That's one thing about the smell of paint is, whew, it really gets to you. And if you're sensitive to smell like me, it can really have an effect. So I gotta air out the room a little bit, and we'll see how this goes. But airing out the room a bit, trying to get rid of the heavy paint smell that has infiltrated or exfiltrated the box. That is one thing about oil painting that can be very difficult, is if you don't paint near an open space, if you don't paint near like a door or a window, and you don't have ventilation, the smell will definitely get to you. I've definitely had my share of headaches from some of the stuff. Not oil paints themselves, but when they dry and the oils, and it just gets this smell. So, something to consider. If you've painted before, this is not news to you. But if you're watching this and you're just like, if you're just watching this and you've never painted before and you're just curious, yeah, just be aware of that, Just be aware that oil painting does come with its what do you want to call its challenges. Let's just call them challenges. So I haven't painted in a little bit. Oh, nice. So my jar of oil has crusted. So we have, hello, welcome. I don't know how you say that name. I cannot read Arabic, but I'm sure it is a wonderful sounding name. It looks like Arabic or some or something like that. I don't know all the languages of the world or letters of the world, but I know a few. So here we go. Let's go ahead. I got a couple of my painting. That's my painting in the background right there. But those of you just tuning in, hey, welcome. Look, I've got so many brushes here, and I probably have to do some cleaning on them, because if you don't paint for a couple weeks, what happens is your brushes start to really stiffen up, and I guess I've been prepared for that because I've got my handy dandy brush cleaner here, and I'm actually not going to do this painting. We're going to put this painting away. And I'm actually going to get to work on a new canvas and just do a bunch of studies. But my goodness, this oil paint smell has already gotten me a little bit out there. I can already feel the oil scent. But anyway, one of the downfalls of oil painting, I mean, you can get some amazing colors and just, you know, oil is so fun to work with. It feels great. It's fun to work with. But, you know, that's one of the downfalls. So this is a piece that I haven't finished yet. I'm actually going to put it away for now, or put it to the side. And I'll be working on this at another time. But for now, let's go ahead and just throw this other piece on here. And I'm just going to do a bunch of studies on this nice bigger canvas we've got here. And here we go. I might want to raise this a little bit too, so I gotta pop this up a little bit. I'm definitely a stand-up painter, meaning I like to stand up when I paint. So this might change the angle a bit. Ooh, it's probably not a good time actually, because I have all my my supplies. My supplies are open. They probably fall. Just checking the door space. There we go. Door space is good. And let's get this other side up. There we go. Okay, so got our surface. Let's pop this back down. And we're ready to go. So, Red Man, what's going on? I'm about to do a bunch of like paint studies. So, rather than something's stuck in here. Maybe it's stuck in here. Alright, that's even. So I'm about to do some painting again. It's been a minute since I did. And basically this project is just going to be mostly studies and things like that. So here we go. I'm putting my materials on the side here and laying something down to hold the pages. But yeah, let's go ahead and throw on some paint, shall we? So I'm gonna hopefully find a brush that hasn't totally become a victim of time. By a victim of time, I mean dried so much that hardened so much that it is no longer soft and workable. So here's my cleaning supplies. I use the Master's brush cleaner. The Master brush cleaner. I'll put that right there. Got a nice bottle of Gatorade here. And let's see, Alex, you need a vacuum cleaner? Hey, what's going on, Alex? If you need a vacuum cleaner for a pickle, you might want to find a vacuum cleaner, not a painter. Either that or you got to work on your pickup lines. So here we go. We got our material here, and got my cleaner, my brush cleaner, and just use this to work it in a bit. So we're starting a whole new project right now. And that was easy. So it's pretty hard earlier, but you know, just a little bit of brush cleaner and water and you know, it does the trick, right? Very quickly and easily. It also helps to have the right brushes too, because if you have the wrong brushes, what ends up happening is brushes, you know, oil is a very harsh medium, meaning oil paint will totally, it's not gentle. It's not a gentle medium. So, you know, if you let paint start to stack up on your brushes, it creates issues. So it's a lot of issues that can happen. And right now, Alex, what brings you here? Let's give Alex some attention since he seems to want it. You know, it's funny, the people that actually I think deserve attention, you know, like, they're probably not talking. The people that are actually curious to have a conversation, to, you know, learn about oil painting, to do whatever, they're just keeping quiet, maybe lurking in the background. Meanwhile, randomly Alex just wants to troll. Like, I know troll, like, no one makes like a troll bot, right? That I know of. Who would, I guess there's someone that made like a troll bot. So obviously, Alex is a real life person that just wants to go in people's places and start drama. I don't know what is on a troll's mind, but probably not too much, right? So anyway, just wiping the paint off of this brush here. Making sure that all the paint gets off. And then we will start our paint job. So I'm going to put this over to the side here. Get my Gatorade cap on, and let's start some painting, shall we? It's been a while. It has been a while since we did some painting. So I'm just going to start with, let's see. Yep, all the paint is dried. So let's start with some, I'm trying to think of a good color combo. I want to use three main colors for this. I want to go with the purple, and let's just do a good old classic purple and yellow. So let's find good old purple and good old yellow. So that's brown, French ultramarine. I guess I probably don't ever have any natural purple, so I guess I'm gonna go with a dark purple red. That's one thing that makes painting quite a bit harder than oil pastels, is you have to mix most of your colors. So I'm gonna lay down this purple red here. I'll lay down some of this purple red. And a little bit of blue next to it. And then pop down some yellow. Lay down our yellow here. All right, and here we go. Let's see. How do I want to start by mixing some of this. Let's start by mixing. The feeling of mixing paint again. It's very nice. And what I want to do is I want to just sketch out what I see. And we're gonna turn this into something here. So let's go like this. I'm gonna bring this down and pop that down like so. and bring this in. That's probably going to come right down to over there. There we go. And let's go like this. So this will be, So this will be one of my first times doing a project like this with paint. The majority of this project has been done with oil pastels, but I've decided to really push into paint jobs to go with paint rather than oil pastels. So we're testing this out. This will be a fairly new project, going into arms and stuff. And I guess that'll come down. That'll come down right a little bit past. So here we go. You know what? My visual acumen and like measuring these lines is probably a bit too long, but you know, getting back into this, it's okay. We'll figure it out. And then let's go like this. We're gonna go bring this up. That should be just a little lower than that. Oh, I love the feeling of like paint and just watching it attached to a surface. It's really nice. So Marianne Sorensen, hello, welcome. I'm in California, United States of America. How's life in Norway right now? I hear Norway is like one of the happiest countries on the planet. Is that so? I don't know if you can speak to that. I've always wanted to visit the great Nordic countries of the world. One day I shall. So I definitely already can see that I've painted some of these body parts a little too long. They're elongated, but that's okay. We're just gonna keep pushing through this and then eventually, you know, work them a little better. And right now I'm just doing the basic sketch of all this. So nothing's too serious right now. Nothing's totally set in stone or anything. So this hand is really way too long, but that's okay. I don't mind making them a little bigger. So this needs to be about the same length as this. Maybe a little shorter. And we're gonna go like so. And we got Marianne from Norway. Very nice. My Norwegian friend. My new Norwegian friend. So I feel like everything I gotta do has got to be proportionate. And as of right now, I've totally started to make things a little bit disproportionate. So we're working on that, working on fixing some of those details. And as we do, and here we go. So let's see, push that up above. there we go. So let's get also some of this hand detail in here. You know what? Although it's been a minute since I've painted, at least I've stuck with drawing. So, you know, I didn't totally lose some of the ideas. And what I'm gonna do now is let's go with a bigger brush here. Let's up the size of this brush. Just want to get some of this paint off right here. We're going to increase the size of this brush. Let's go ahead and wipe off some of this paint here. So the longest my hair's ever been, so getting used to it being in my face constantly. See, this is a long filbert. Yes, is this the brush that we want? Yes, this is the brush that I want here. We'll do a little clean job. Right now is a good time for a little clean job. What am I painting? So I'm painting an arm right now. This is really just a study. So it's a study of an arm. This is an arm from the Charles Berg book. So Charles Berg, I don't know if you're familiar with art at all. Are you familiar with art or are you familiar with Charles Berg? I don't actually know if that's how you pronounce his name. But anyway, if you are, or whether you're not, or if you are, for anybody watching later, Charles Berg did this book, and it's an art training book. It's a painter's training book, or drawer's training book. It teaches you to draw. And I've been doing this series where I go through it, except I do it with painting or oil pastels. So with that, I decided to get back to painting instead of doing oil pastels, and that's where we're at. That's where we're at right now. All right, so hopefully this is enough. Okay, now, yeah, so Charles Berg. Great book, but it's a classical style of drawing from really, really long time ago. So, you know, if you really are interested in classical art, the traditional way to learn was to just go study actual, like, statues, casts, as opposed to people. And they've really changed that to today, but traditionally that's how you learn to draw people, was just through looking at casts. You didn't really do people. Drawing people was like reserved for like the best artists. So obviously, you know, that type of philosophy has changed quite a bit. You know, anybody can draw what they choose nowadays. Whatever you want. This brush has gone through the ringer quite a bit. You know what I should have done is I should have given like a full color to this. I should have given like a full color to this entire surface. But when you get back into painting, you tend to like forget the important things to do. So what's all these trolls today? Jeez. Who invited all of you? All right. You gotta go. You're gonna get a timeout, child. Not you, Marianne. I was talking to somebody else. So I finally figured out how I can put people in timeout from this. Now, if only it would allow me to block people from here, which is probably why it helps to have like a moderator. Oh man. All right, let's see. So continuing to build this figure here, giving into the shadows. Creating some of the forms and the shapes that I see, the shapes where the shadows go. And here we go. So first I did the outline, the basic sketch, and then now I'm just building in some of these shadow areas. And softening up some of these corners. So this is definitely a much looser style than because I'm drawing and then, you know, I'm really just painting directly on top of my drawing, whereas, you know, some people might fully sketch it out and have like a line drawing on top of this, like a pencil sketch. But I don't tend to do that. This is my first time doing this type of project. Drawing an arm is pretty simple, but drawing an image of an arm that's black and white and then making up my own colors, that's where I'm challenging myself a bit, where I have to make up certain colors and ideas. So it looks nice so far. Thanks, CE Bond 2. How are you today? What are you up to? What brings you into our world? And then here, let me grab some yellow now. And with this yellow, I'm going to start mixing it into our space here. And I got to remember, because like now I have to actually mix colors, whereas previously when I was working on this project before, I could just paint straight into things. So this creates a whole new layer of change, of transformation of how the painting is going to look. And I just have to keep that in mind as I'm going through this, because otherwise it can start to look kind of messy. And I don't mind a little bit messy, but you know, I want to stay true to some of the shadows that are going to be appearing. Just having a cookout with the fam. Hey, nice. Well, I hope your family is doing fantastic. Who's doing the cooking? You doing any of the cooking? Oh, that's cool. She's doing all the cooking. You gonna go help her in the kitchen today, or nah? She doesn't like to have people help or learn about her recipe. I'm sure she's got some great recipes. No? All right, here we go. So just going up, and for me, I'm a much looser as a painter. And I like to, keep things fun and loose. So for me, part of that means not getting overly strict with where the paint needs to go. But I do want to stay somewhat consistent to this. So let's clean off this brush. And we're gonna look for like a pure yellow. So what kind of cuisine does your mom like to cook? Does your family like to eat? My mom made really great Chinese food. As you might imagine. I mean, she made great almost every food, but she would make homemade dumplings. She would make homemade like Chinese style noodles, pork chops. So what kind of food do they like to make? So right now I'm gonna go with the yellow, and this yellow is gonna be a very bright yellow. And here's what we're gonna do: we're just gonna lay down this yellow right into all the areas. So we're just gonna lay down this yellow like it's the only color that exists. I should probably use a bigger brush for this yellow, but we're just gonna lay down this yellow here. And I want you to be able to see my hand movements and all that in this painting. I want the hand gestures to show and everything. Honestly, I think painting is maybe a little bit even easier than oil pastels, because with painting you can really start to see like how all the marks and you can really start to see how your hand works and the marks and the expressions that you choose to make. And that's one of the wonderful things about painting. Is every painting you could see the strokes that whatever the artist made, you can watch it unfurl. So here we go. Let's bring this down. Yeah, it's been a while since I painted, but you pick it up pretty quickly. And one thing I probably should have done is I should have used a bigger brush for this section. Just so I'm not I'm not spending too much time doing this unnecessarily. These smaller brushes are great for just adding when you're doing like super fine details and stuff, but I'm not doing that. So yeah, I'm not laying down super fine detail. And here we go. So go right up into here. I absolutely love this color combination of purple and gold. What kind of paint are the, what do you mean? What do you mean, what brand, or do you mean like, is this oil or acrylic? This is all oil paint. I like to use oil paint. Oil paint's the best. Acrylic's pretty good, but you know what? I'm a big fan of oil painting. So Marianne, what brought you here today? How did you come across my channel? Just out of curiosity, I really like to ask that question when I see new viewers. I think it's good to know. Like obviously, you know, the YouTube algorithm probably placed me in front of you in one way or another. Let's get a red nail here. Grab some of our yellow, grab a little bit of this red. We're gonna paint this nail red. What's up, TTP? How are you? What's going on with you? I'm gonna add some of this. Actually, I really like this color, so I'm gonna add some of this like fleshy color into some of the areas here. And just create this like blended look here. Some shadow around the edges here. And then get some more shadow into here. Yeah, you're doing good. Good to hear. All right. Well, you got any news? Any big news? Did you finish school? Did you meet your future whatever, your future pet, your future friend, your future whatever, I don't know. Come up with a new hobby, make a movie. So you're just dumping painting, it just began, so you're learning, not so good at English. Well, that's okay. You don't have to be good at English. You don't have to be good at English to be a painter. You know, one thing I learned that I've taken away from painting is the best materials to learn art from are probably materials that don't talk or don't speak at all. For example, now I talk only because I have to stream. But as you might imagine, like, painting is such a visual language. All the talking is only just to, you know, fill the space. But look at this book. This is the book I'm studying. It's by the Ultimate Berg Drawing Collection. So as I mentioned, this is originally teacher's drawing. And this has no words in it. There's no words, no explanation, no... it doesn't tell you what to do or how to do anything. all you need to know is you need to basically copy this, and this is the end result that you want. And that's it. And it's a great way to learn, in my opinion, because no one's like telling you how you need to do things or like what needs to happen. You just do it, and it's wonderful. So I need a bigger brush now to fill up a large area of space. So let me see, what's a good brush here? Let me find a good brush. This brush is a bit hard. We can revive this brush. So all I need to do, as you can tell right here, this brush is a bit hard. I'm putting a little bit of force on it. It's kind of hard. So all you do, dip it in some water. Use our brush cleaner here. You don't have to be too gentle. You could be kind of rough with it. Especially with some of the cheaper brushes, you could be pretty rough and not like worry too much. And then just put some more water in it. Get the soap into the brush crevices. And here we go. So what do you want to paint, Marion? Hey, Gwen, what's going on? I like to watch other paint and describe what they are doing. Hey, awesome, thank you. So Gwen, what are you up to? Marianne, do you know what you want to paint? Is there a specific goal of like, you know, you'd like to paint people, or you want to be like abstract, or what kind of painting ideas inspire you? So right now I'm going to throw black on here. We're going to go with black. And we're just going to paint black all the way around. Lay down lots of black. And I also want some spreadability on the black, so I'm going to add something to make it spread better, if I can find it. Can't find any of my... Hey.
Hi. It's Catherine here?
No.
Okay, I'm Anna.
Oh, hey. Oh, yeah. Kat will be here later.
You don't have to check by any chance?
No.
This is the only check that's where
Okay.
I come back.
Can you call her?
It's okay.
Yeah, because my phones are recording right now, so.
No problem. It's fine.
Okay, yeah. She's been away for a couple days, and I just haven't had a chance to.
Okay. So
Yeah.
tell her to can put it in today. That would be great.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's coming back today, you said?
Yeah, she'll be here in a couple hours.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks. All right, so what we got, Marianne and Lizik, Gwen, and Lizik. Look at everything. Yes. You want to be able to draw people correctly, but it's hard. Yeah, so I mean, it could be a challenge, but where is my paint? This paint material. Let's see. Oh, here we go. All right. So you want to be able to draw people. So I'm drawing an arm right now, or painting an arm. Let's call it painting. And I needed some supplies, so I use this. This helps the spreadability of the paint here. And just keep it nice and easy. So really just throw down the black paint here, get it down nice. And with this, like, you know, when you're doing this part of the paint, just using a bigger brush to just spread it more. Yeah, so using a big brush to spread this more. Let's see. And again, there are people that, you know, are much tighter with their drawings or paints. So you might see somebody who who's like, you know, doing a certain style, and they end up just painting like very planned, for lack of a better term. Like, you know, they already have every single line, every single shadow sketched out where it's gonna go. Whereas you can see here, things are a little bit looser. I'm just going with this black outline here. I want to use black because I really like this color combination of like yellow. What do I like to paint? I like to paint really like abstract stuff, you know? That's my favorite, is just like letting loose on a canvas and going really abstract, but also really loose and abstract. But I like to do this type of work just to, you know how to do it. And I also like to paint people. Painting people's pretty fun. But for now, yeah, so abstract stuff, people, all sorts of different things. But I have this project called From Black, where I basically just start with the color black and then move into like whatever I feel like just painting at that moment. You know, no expectations, and I just go with whatever kind of comes out of it. That's one of my projects that I have. And let's see, so see, I wouldn't say this is the way you're supposed to paint. Like, a more traditional person would probably use a pencil or something, or charcoal or whatever, and then they would actually draw this whole thing out with a pencil or pencil or like charcoal or whatever, and they would just draw this whole thing, and then they would just paint exactly into the spaces. So this is more of a called alla prima. So alla prima is a style of painting that you do things in one sitting, because the traditional way of painting typically requires a lot of time. Not because you have to be like detailed, but because it simply takes a lot of time. You gotta wait for it to dry, wait for your work to dry, and all that. So that would be, so alla prima, you're basically painting everything wet. And although, you know, you could finish it in one painting, it's much harder because you might not get the same level of detail that you might get with an alla prima painting. Or you might not get as much detail with an alla prima painting as you might with a like the traditional style of like oil painting. So I'm just using this black to really add in and tighten up some of the details here. I'm just carving away. So this is a dark area on a dark area. And one thing I could kind of pretty much see is that, you know, at some point this has to be much less dark, and then the other parts of the arm have to be pushed out a little bit. But, you know, I've got the basic shape of everything, so, you know, we'll go into this with a bit more detail, and then we'll go on to the next hand pretty much, or the next drawing. Let's go ahead and clean this brush up, and then let's go back to our yellow. And here we go. So one of the things about using black, though, as a color, is it's a very challenging color to work with, because if you use it, you got to be prepared to just, you know, use a ton of black. Or to really clean your brushes if you're going to reuse the same brushes. And you just got to be ready and know that, like, it's probably going to find its way into your painting somewhere. The best thing to do is just use different brushes. If you're going to use black, use different brushes for black. But I tend to just use the same brush. And here, let's go bring back our yellow and just fill in the spaces that we need to fill in. So, fill in the yellow, get it nice and painterly. And what I want to do is I want to push this yellow outward. So, this yellow needs to go out a bit. And then we need to soften this dark space right here, so that it doesn't look like it's just like a cut in the arm. I mean, it is technically a cut, but doesn't need to be that harsh. And then there's a couple other areas we can kind of use the same shadow color on too. Yeah, right there. Really tightening up shadows. And then I'm just looking to match shadow areas. Match the right shadow areas with the right shadow areas. When I say match shadow areas with the right shadow areas, I mean, like, you know, what I'm looking at, I'm gonna work to just see where the color changes, where the lightness and the darkness goes from like white to something else. And I'm using, you know, pretty difficult colors to work with, black, yellow, but I just love their combination and how they work together. So, yeah, hey, take care, Marianne. Hope to see you again. Thanks for jumping in, and look forward to seeing you again. And here we go. All right. So let's see, want to throw in a bit more of this yellow and just get some of these outer edges and just push this down. And soften and use some of this red here to do that. Let's go. And here we go. So let's tighten up this hand right here. And the way we're going to do that is I want to fix up this hand. So right now we're going to start getting into more detail around the hand here. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and clean up this brush. All right, so we got some joiners on TikTok. Welcome. How's everybody doing today? I'm just painting an arm. But right now, as I paint this arm, I'm going to tighten up the area around the hand. So that's what you're about to see. What you are about to see. And we're gonna go. All right, somebody has liked the live. Flower Cloud is your name? Cloud. Flower Cloud person, smoke person, bubble, thought bubble person. I don't know, but here, let's go like this. We're gonna go into the hand, and we're gonna start to add these smaller details here. So, you know, this is gonna help create a shadow. And I really like using this red. This red is really going to help make it pop, make some of these corners pop. And you know, I'm a bit looser with my paintings. I don't like to, you know, fully draw out like with a pencil. I like to just kind of go after it. Pretty much just go after it, which you know, it can create its challenges because sometimes, you know, you spend a lot of time just fixing areas, whereas if you had just gotten it right in the first place, you wouldn't be worried about that. But at the same time, you know, I definitely think that doing it this way helps to add, you know, my unique flair to all the different pieces. And I only say that to, you know, for anybody learning to paint, that, you know, the way I do it isn't exactly how your art teacher would approve. You know what I mean? Or a traditional like art teacher might not approve of my methods simply because it is not the totally traditional method here. We're a bit more. I'm a bit more loose in many ways. So using this red, we're gonna go ahead and add another knuckle here in the background that just kind of disappears. And then, there we go. Pop this in, a little bit of red right here. Yes, Khaled, this is an arm. Noah Brown. Hey, Nate. What's going on, Nate? I did send out that drawing. I don't know if it's gone to you yet. You should be able to see the like the tracking, I hope. But if you need an update, let me know if the tracking did not show up. But yes, I did send it out a couple days ago. Yeah, I sent it out the morning after, so should receive it. I mean, today's Sunday, so you probably didn't receive it, but you should receive it pretty close here soon. And you know what? Since we got this arm, we got this base color. It's so fun and exciting. Why don't we just get into it and really like push the colors a bit? So I want to tighten up some of the yellow areas first. So make sure that, you know, there's none of this white space showing through. So let's get this finger here. Let's get this finger nice right here. I'm gonna go around. And get into this space right here. And we're gonna go whoop, whoop, whoop. And then keep this fairly light. I'm trying to think, what do I want to do? Oh, someone wanted to join the live, is that so? If you wanted to join the live, you can request to join the live again. I was in the middle of something, so feel free to request again if you like. It's just hard for me to have eyes on the back of my head sometimes. So yeah. Hey, Megami Saiku and Khaled Al-Shahid. Hello, welcome. Welcome. Hope you're all doing fantastic. I finally moved back into painting. I stopped painting for the oil pastel project, but you know what? I was getting kind of bored of oil pastels. Like, you know, I really like the idea of being able to stand and do artwork. And that really wasn't cutting it for me. So I see this arm here, and you know what? I want to play with a variety of colors. I want to throw in a little bit of green, a little bit of phthalo green, a little bit of pale green. You sweat like crazy. Why are you sweating? You got a fan or? You don't have a fan? I guess it's almost summertime, Los Angeles. I've got the door open here in Los Angeles, and it is pretty hot, but it's not like scorching. And And what I want to do with this hand is, why don't we mix in some white and yellow. Where's my white? Yes, white. Here we are. So let's see, probably tomorrow. Yeah, welcome. So welcome everybody on TikTok. It's color in your head that you can't describe. Okay. Well, that's cool. Let's is it more or less like this? Is it more or less like this? Is it hotter or is it colder than this? And when I say hotter, I mean like, you know, does it make you feel warmer? Yeah, like diluted teal cyan. So teal diluted with white. Like what color is it diluted with? A very pale, like a pale green. Like a mint. Like a very light mint white or mint green. And then you know what we're going to do? We're going to bring this in and just add some highlights around. Let's go like this. Let's go. I'm going to use this mint green to bring in highlight. Yeah, mint. This is like a mint. Pistachio. So we're going to use this and we're going to bring some highlights into this arm here. You know, there's always a way to add some more expressiveness. So that's what we're going to go for. Just a bit of expressiveness. A little bit of green, a little bit more white. Just got to add our own touch, you know. You can't just make everything the way it was supposed to be. I use the word "supposed to be" in quotations, but you know, I would like to always add like a personal touch, or you know, add something different to what I'm seeing. You just got to interpret things. I saw this really interesting photo today on YouTube, and it was like Picasso and Salvador Dali and how they see an egg. And Picasso had a painting, and the egg was a cube, which I think is fairly accurate. And then Salvador Dali painted an egg, and it was an egg hanging over a tree. I think this is really starting to make it pop. These like little highlights, these highlighted brush strokes. Good old like impressionist style, impressionist, post-impressionist style of artwork. Just adding your own personal touch to your brush strokes and everything. Going nice and light. And here we go. So let's see. I like to like constantly look in the reflect the. Thanks again, Nate. Really appreciate you. I really like to like constantly see, like look back in this video, the live stream, to see, you know, what exactly this looks like to everybody else. So I've got this mint color, and I'm pretty much done with it. I'm not going to go too much more with overemphasizing these hash marks across the arm, but I do want to add some shadows. So what we're going to do here is we're going to pop in some red. We're going to take this mint, mix in the red that we have, and just kind of like, you know, make it pop a little bit. And let's see, how do we, what can we do in this area? We're going to go pop that in. I want to make it a little bit brighter, you know, make it more highlighted rather than just like super dark shade just cutting across the arms. So that's the goal right now. That's a little too bright. So constantly going back and just, you know, trying to find the right color combination here. And let's see, yeah, so okay, so we're really just starting to carve this out, and let's see, there's something that I'm seeing that's just not right with this arm right here. So I want to experiment and push that a little bit. Let's really take this white down, and I got to get rid of some of these shadows here. So we're going to come around, and let's see, there we go. Get rid of some of these shadows. These shadows are a little bit too harsh, which is what I've got a little wrong. And let's see, so let's push this up, doing a very textured painting here. And there we go. So, you know, I just want to say special shout out, Nate. Thank you for all the shares and stuff. So Khaled, oh my goodness. Y'all have been chatting with me and I haven't even noticed. So Khaled, you wish you could paint. You really FW with artists like who add their personal touch to their work. FW, I guess that's mess with. You really FW? Okay, cool. So here we go. I feel done with this arm. I'm not gonna, you know, go too much more in depth with this piece. So what I'm gonna do is, let's see, add a little bit more into this area here. I'm just picking random places to lay down these colors here. All right, so let's clean off this brush, and then, you know, let's add some nice finishing touches. We're gonna just like have fun with the background here. I'm trying to think of a good color that will work well with the background. I'm thinking like a light blue, like a very white blue. You know, we're gonna do some Van Gogh-esque swirls. So I'm taking this blue and I want to lay it down somewhere that I can mix it nice. And I'm gonna grab some of this white. We're gonna mix that in with the blue here, get a really nice light ultramarine color, and let's just see how this goes. You know, just pop some of this across the night sky here. You know, the night sky, and then, you know, some of these will be like lines and dot the night sky. Maybe we'll just go with marks. You know. I don't want to keep it too black. Give it like a, not necessarily going for that starry night feel, but just adding, you know, something to the outside to just give it like a touch, something different. If we're really going for, you know, starry night, we might play with like laying in color after color. I don't know. How would we do that? How would you do? Yeah, swirls and swirls. Just dotting it. There we go. And let's bring in more of this blue. Now let's take some of this white here. I'm just gonna dot in with the white. You know, one thing I really enjoyed, one quote, the work I'm doing, the craft comes with 10,000, yes, 10,000 hours, yeah. Got to plug in 10,000 hours. So, one thing that, the easiest advice that I ever got, the easiest advice to like, that I ever saw on like YouTube, that I just keep with me, and anytime I'm having a challenge, I ask myself this question. And the advice was like from some famous painter. I don't know his name, but you know, he was famous enough that, you know, they did an interview with him on like the national news or whatever, and then they asked him like, hey, what, you know, if you give one piece of advice to artists, what would it be? And he said, whatever you do, don't make a boring painting. And that stuck out to me so much, because what a great piece of advice, right? Like, whatever you do in art, don't make boring art. That was the only thing he said. And it's like, yeah, you know, it's not about, you know, you could, if you're going to make like a perfectly hyper-realist portrait or whatever, I mean, that's not boring. That's like, oh, wow, that's really interesting, you know? So it could range from that to the total opposite, which could be, you know, totally wild and crazy, abstract, to, you know, the subject matter, to everything else. So whatever that means to you, what it means to not have a boring painting, it can be very helpful. And one thing that's really bothering me is my hair. So I need to put on a hat, because actually, I don't even need to put on a hat. I just gotta... I'll be right back, people. I need to throw some stuff away and get my hair situated. I gotta use these hair clips to keep the hair out of my face. So, yes, that is a yellow arm with a bald fist. The old guitar, you think this looks like the old guitars? Hey, well, that's a compliment. But yes, it is a bald fist with an arm with a bald fist. So, as long as it looks like what you're saying, have I ever seen the movie Big Eyes? I have not. What is the movie Big Eyes about? Yeah, the advice was don't do a boring artwork. That's it. So if, like, you know, you don't know what else to do and you feel like you're kind of complete, make it more interesting. I mean, you know, this is just one artist's advice, and, you know, I'm just relaying it, and it can mean whatever it means to you, but I really love that advice. Because I think at the end of the day, the beauty of artwork isn't the artwork itself necessarily, but it's the idea that art itself can, like, just like, you know, a new invention from some scientist or engineer can change the way the world works. Visual art and, you know, painting, whatever it is, can change the way the world sees, which is a powerful thing that I love about art the most. Alexa, what's the movie Big Eyes about?
The movie Big Eyes is about the true story of artist Margaret Keane and her husband Walter Keane, who was crediting himself for the distinctive paintings of big-eyed children.
Huh. So it was another artist stealing. He was stealing credit for his wife's ideas, or I'm kind of confused. Steals her work. It's about the lady in the 50s who's an artist. She paints big eyes, and her husband steals her work. That sucks. All right. Well, let's move on to our next piece now. So with this brush, I shall create magic, people. So let's do this. Trying to think what colors I want to use. I've already got this color combination. I've already got some colors. So you know what? I'm gonna go with. Let's go with a. Let's go with a blue. You know what? I'm gonna go with black. I'm gonna change the color to black, and we're gonna do the do the outline this way. So let's see. I'm gonna go sketch. If anyone was to see this painting in the future, they'd be like, "Whoa, this person really loves arms." Oh, so you know about it too. Government name, nice. Yeah, so it's on my TikTok. I've got a live stream on TikTok as well, and they're Nate is my friend. Nate is talking about the the movie, so I gotta check that out. Yeah, I guess it's one thing to take ideas, but it's another thing to totally steal from your significant other. Sounds like a very controversial movie. So this is going to come in really tight. And this is going to come down almost about double the length. So whatever that is, we're going to come down double. Somehow my painting is constantly oversized, so this needs to end right here actually. So I'm just going to make a mark. This is where it needs to end, so that needs to be right around here. And it's going to come down. Ending is really satisfying. That's great. So, a satisfying ending. Isn't that what we all want in movies? I can't stand TV shows that have like episode to episode. Stay tuned till the next episode before you can see anything important that happens. Like, I know I grew up watching that on Dragon Ball Z, and I think most of us, if we're over the age of like 25, we probably had to grow up watching episode to episode. But I think now with like live streaming, it's really changed the game. Like TV shows don't have this power over us, fortunately. Whereas back in however long ago they did. So this top piece, let's go right around here. That's about the same, a little bit longer, so. And then this comes in a little bit less. We're going to come down. So we're going to do a smaller arm over here. And then we're going to go be like right there. And Ilya 804 Nate, yes. Blue contrasts yellow good. Yeah, it does. I really like this like blue along the exterior. So we got this arm. This piece we'll fix a little bit later. And right now, let's see. So this hand needs to stand right here. We're gonna come down with this arm and go pretty much straight down, right? Now almost at an angle. The hand is going to be about the size of that. So let's go. And then one thing about oil paints is it really gets to my my lungs. I use a lot of things that make the oil paints work the way I want, and the smells can really get to me sometimes, but you know, I like it so much. I mean, maybe one day I'll need to stop using oil paints, but for now I kind of just suffer through it. What y'all can't notice is that there's a really heavy like smell in this room right now, like oil paint chemicals. So with oil paint, you have to use a lot of chemicals and stuff. The oil paint itself doesn't necessarily smell, but you have to use a lot of chemicals to make the oil paint work a certain way. And because of that, oil paint itself can start to get to you. And let's see, we're going to go down here. And here we go. So we're going to go like that. Like this, come around right there. Come around. A little crease and then come around like so. And let's see, this needs to be moved up a little bit. Alright, so we fixed this hand, and let's see, go like this, like that, pop, pop. I know I say a lot of things like we go like this, go like that, but, you know, that's one of the reasons why I find Bob Ross so fascinating now that I do a lot of painting, is this idea that, you know, how did he so skillfully explain all the wonderful things that he was doing so skillfully? That is a gift that he has given humanity, that ability. I don't think it's Bob Ross's talent as an artist necessarily that helped him succeed so well, but more so just his ability to be able to tell or explain, you know, people in such like an elegant way, you know, what was going on in his head, words that would like literally just inspire you on the spot. Like, how did he do that? I don't know. That's a gift. So here we go. We're making some beautiful things, right? Going with the black. This arm's going to be much smaller. Of course, it's all proportionate, but let's go like, so where does this arm need to end? There we go. And All right. So now what we're gonna do, see, this actually goes across. This goes across, this goes up from the center, that's about right. The center, come down, and then this line, let's see, this needs to go a little deeper right there. All right, so here we go. Let's use some black. I'm gonna do this one with black. Usually, you know, a lot of artists will recommend against using black simply because this color has a way of really, really finding its way into everything if you use it. And, you know, if you work with the color black, you just got to be aware that, you know, you're working with this very powerful color that that just literally just darkens whatever you're working on. And if you're not conscious of that, it can get really messy as you start to try to like paint fine details and stuff. But if you are conscious of it, you'll do just fine. So here right now, just using black to get into the shadows here. You haven't seen me on for a while. Tay, what's going on? Yeah, it's been a couple days. I haven't had the opportunity to stream for a few days now. But I've been doing like oil pastel projects. I just haven't had the opportunity to... I mean, I had the opportunity to paint. I was just trying to change up what I was doing. You know, sometimes it's nice to like change things up so that you can get a different perspective on what you're working on. You know, what I picked up when I was doing oil pastels is like, or what I was really pushing myself to do. I hope you're doing fantastic, by the way, Tay. So what I was doing when I was doing these oil pastel studies was I really wanted to focus on not getting stuck with painting and like using standard colors. You know, I really wanted to be different with my colors. And what I find is like with oil pastels, you know, you can really get yourself to experiment with colors because, you know, it's not as easy to mix. I mean, you can still mix it, but it's not as easy. So when I was using oil pastels, I could really push color variety. And that's something I really wanted to work on. So I really feel that coming through, even just with this first piece, the yellow, purple, black. So what's going on with you? What's news? What's on the news for you? If I was doing a news interview, asking you a question, you know, Tay, what have you been up to? What's the newest album you just put out? And here we go. So I'm working on trying to keep this separation of the knuckles here. Working on keeping the separation of these knuckles. And let's see, so we're gonna keep this tight. Can't hear. Okay, yeah, no worries. Take care. See ya. I'll probably be on for just a little longer. I don't know how long, but we'll be here. I will be here. So let's see. We've got this black right here, and we're just going to go up the edge right here and into the hand where the wrist kind of folds. And then just come up with it. Just come up. I need to make a way to make this arm feel a bit more natural. Here we go. And there we have that. So what's a good color? What's anybody's favorite color? Anybody, you can name a color. If anyone's here, we're gonna paint the arm with that color. Blue. All right, Nate. Let's go with blue. So I gotta take this paint off this brush. I want to clean it. One thing about painting that makes it harder than oil pastel. I mean, a lot of things make painting harder than oil pastel, and I totally didn't even realize how, didn't even realize it till I started painting again just today. But like, I don't have every single color. I don't have 67 different colors like at my fingertips. I basically have like somewhere between 5, or I want to say like 10 to 15 different colors. And usually you have to like find ways to mix other colors. But with oil pastels, I've literally got the entire like range. And even though I can't mix colors, I can just grab. And the other thing that I love about painting, it's a challenge, but it's also wonderful, is that you have to take little breaks, right? Like, I got to take a little break to just clean off this brush. It's a nice opportunity to just step away and think about what you're doing. And then once you step back, you got some painting to do, and you can see the painting. So I laid down this color here, but I have no clue what it is. Oh, I think it's a really dark green. All right, so let's grab this white. I'm going to grab a lot of this white here. And we're going to take some of this white and we're going to put it down next to our blue. And we're going to create like a very light ultramarine blue. And that's the color we're going to use to paint in our arm. I want it even lighter than that. So let's go like this. Gonna go right in here. We're gonna start focusing on the interior spaces first. We're focusing on the interior spaces first. And before we start moving into the edges, because I know once I get into the edges, we're gonna start getting lots of black. And it's gonna start to darken our piece. So if I'm gonna paint, I want to paint the interior first, because I don't mind the edges if they get some black into it. But if I get towards the center, I want to try to keep that somewhat clean, clean of any other color. But as you can see with this, we will eventually get messy. You want to stop in for a sec? Hey, thanks, Shazbear. Thanks for stopping in for a sec. Appreciate you. Hope you do great on your exams. Do great things. But here we go. So we're going to go and let's see. So now we're going to start getting into the edge here. Let's start pushing into the edge. And I know this is going to start bringing in some of the darker values into our painting. But that's okay. So let's go like this. Here we go. It's going to help us create like an edge around. Let's go around like so. So we're going to go like that. And we're going to go. There we go. And this blue's turning out really nice. I mean, it almost looks like a gray on camera, but I do like how the blue's turning out. I like how this blue is turning out. I mean, I didn't expect it to turn out badly, but I really like the idea of like asking someone for a suggestion, and thankfully Nate is here to participate and be a part of this interactive work. That's why I do put interactive artists for a reason. I like to that's part of it, you know, being interactive, of being on social media. Interactive artist. I don't put that just for fun. I mean, yes, it is for fun, but you know, I don't put that just to put it. It actually means something. Words mean things. Can you believe that? Yeah, I know every kid has probably heard whatever you say bounces back onto you or something like that. I forget the thing when kids make fun of you and you have to like kind of hit back or whatever. Or it's like it's that bounces off like glue and sticks to you or something. But yeah, words have meaning. Words have power. I think as kids growing up, some parents, you know, teach their kids that words have no meaning. Especially if, you know, and it helps if you're like being bullied. It's like coping or helping to, you know, deal with it. Unfortunately, I think, you know, bullying is not acceptable nowadays. But I think back when I was a kid, you know, we're constantly taught words don't mean anything, you know, just ignore them. But words have some serious meaning. Words are powerful. So say good words. Be good. Say, as Nate would say it, hit the color that he wanted to broadcast. The advice that he wanted to broadcast to the world is spread love and peace, which is great. Wonderful. So yeah, this blue is really turning out very nicely. I'm loving it. So thanks for that suggestion, Nate. Thanks for being involved. I'm loving this color. So this area can actually use a bit more. Can actually use a little bit more. Let's see. Can actually work with black quite a bit. This can definitely use shadow. Use black as a color going into it. So this has a knuckle here. And this means that we're going to come up like this, and we need to push this edge out a little bit. Push this edge out a little bit. There we go. And then got to shape this hand, because right now the shape is like a bit unnatural, right? Like it's got so many hard edges to it. And here we go. What I want to do is I want to go around here and get rid of some of this super dark outline. And we're going to go into here and we're going to add a little bit of just color combination here. And then just blend this part out a little bit. And there we go. Yeah, this black is turning out great. I'm loving it. It's a great color decision by Nate. Now the question is going to be, what do we need to do to make it pop a little bit more? What do we need to do to make this more interesting? Do we just, you know, I actually do like it the way it is, like with just this black and blue. But I always like to just add like a background. I usually don't like to just leave things, even if it's a single color. I like to add a background. So here we go. Actually, I need to push this up a little bit. There we go. Carve that wrist and soften it a bit. And then, you know, soften up the wrist area. Yeah, I think just this alone is enough to create a softness into this piece. And this needs to come up a bit more. And there we go. Yeah, it looks like a nice soft arm. And then what are we going to do with this section? So we're going to darken this area. We're going to go push this shadow into the knuckle here. And we're going to go around this, and then just make this like knuckle basically become its own thing. And there we have it. So, what do we need to do? We need to push up a little bit of the shadow to create more knuckle. Oh. Just to give it a little bit more detail. So, all right, let's see. How do we want to do this? Pull up some of the black. I want to get some black, but not too much black. And I just want to push this detail up. Let's get a little bit of, just a little bit of black on the tip here. And let's see, how can we, not enough. All right, so here we go. Get like this. Just add a little bit of this texture between each knuckle area. I should just go with the whole black. Here we go. This helps to give it like a little bit of a crease, make the crease make more sense here. And we'll tighten that up in a bit. It's a little bit, it's a little bit too wispy right now, in my opinion. I want to fix it up a bit. But there we go. We're starting to carve this out. This knuckle's a little bit funky, but before we adjust the knuckle, I wanted to get some of these other details here. So this detail, let's kind of fold that in, blend these sections here, and there we go. And might as well use up some of this paint, so I'm going to create a design around this hand. There was this artist back in the day, I can't remember his exact name, but he was known, one thing he got known for was like, he would never just like leave paint on his brush, he would literally just wipe it off on the canvas. And I find that interesting for a painter to do. Because I think you have to really like be open to mistakes or open to the possibilities of putting a paintbrush or laying down paint that you're about to clean off. You have to figure out where you want to put it. All right, so got this as blue. I got to figure out what color I want to put around it. So I think the yellow and the black is a nice contrast. Blue and orange. So we're gonna pop this yellow. Gonna pop this yellow and we're gonna mix it in with our red purple. And that's how we're gonna make the next color that we're gonna put around the blue. So let's start on this side. I want it to be spread a little better, so pull some of this. It's not spreading as much as I'd like. That's not orange. Here we go. Let's get an orange. Italian lemon ochre. That's not orange. Guess we go with a cad red. Let's see, what color is this? Huh. Cad red. Vermilion. I think that's what I need, vermilion. Cad red light. Let's do cad red light. So my goal here is to make like a much redder orange. There we go. Now the other way to do this is just using like a really fine tip brush. You know, if you're like really into super finely detailed work, you want like a fine tip brush and just carefully like, you know, go into the edge and just paint that space. But that's not what we're doing here. We're gonna go, one thing I have to do is I have to carve out this knuckle, and it's kind of chunky. So I need to elongate it while reducing the chunkiness. So that's what we're gonna do right here. Reduce the chunkiness. There we go, that's a little better. It's gotta look like it's like, you know, got a certain shape to it, because it is a little bit fatter because it's being squeezed or bigger, but definitely needed to reduce it a little bit because it didn't need to be squeezed. It wasn't being squeezed that much. So here we go, grab some more of this yellow to soften this, and color looks really good. Love how I did that. Thank you. Yeah. So here we go. I'm gonna tighten this up. I don't mind it being a little bit clunky, but I'll have to fix that later. As you can see, I messed up the hand a little bit. That's okay. Fortunately, the outline is in black. So, you know, any color trying to fight against black, black will win out. And ultimately, if I need to carve that space out again, and as you can see right here, black is totally dominating. So when I do need to shape this again, shape with the black, I'm gonna go in with the black and create the shape. You know, create the knuckle, really establish the knuckle area much better. And here we go, carving around the arm. It's okay if this kind of goes in a little bit. Oops. I grabbed a little too much purple red, so it's going to get a little darker up here, but that's fine. Here we go. There you go. Kind of like makes it look like the arm just kind of blends in with the surroundings, so that's all right. Did anybody see the painting of the, what is it, King Charles? Just all in red. So let's see. So this arm has the shape, and now what I got to do with this arm, got the green, got the red. Let's see. So this piece comes out a little too far. Soften that. And the shadow is okay. We need to push the shadow back out a little further, but for now we got a painting. We got an artwork, people. Fantastic artwork. I'm going to merge these two areas here. Whoever likes arms, you know, often when I paint, I'm like, who's going to buy this? You know, like, who would buy a painting of arms? But I also think, like, you know what, sometimes it's nice to not worry or think about that. And you know what, you can come up with some really interesting things. So let's see. Just taking a look in the reflection here. And let's go. So we're gonna go tighten up this arm. We're gonna go back with black. Back into our black paint. Really want to just crisscross. Let's see what can happen if I... Where's a good place to crisscross on this arm? I feel like I want to merge them. Just go... Give it a little bit of a gesture, you know? Give it some gesture work. Ah, there we go. Whoosh. Whoosh. Did that do anything? Yeah, it kind of merged it, doesn't it? A little bit. Whoosh. Softens a bit. Let's go carve into it. See what happens. We're gonna add some interesting effects here. I'm gonna carve into this. Carve into it. Ah, huzzah! Merging of our blue, black, and white. And after we get done with this arm, we're going to do some more of that. But let's clean this up. I'm going to clean off this brush. Take a little moment to step away. And take a moment to stop talking. What I found out about somebody has reported me for not doing something. Somebody detected inactivity. I literally stopped talking for like, how long was that? Like 30 seconds, and I got a warning from TikTok that says it's going to shut me down for inactivity. TikTok is ridiculous with how much they expect you to talk. Especially from someone who doesn't like talking for that long. Like, I just got to make stuff up. What's the deal? Yeah, they just, you know, you can't be a non-talking introvert and live stream on TikTok, apparently. Or I guess, like, you know, I mean, you could probably play video games, and I guess video games are enough to, like, make it seem like you're active. But you know, that's unfair to artists. If an artist just wants to, you know, show their work and not have to worry about all that stuff. But anyway, I got this. As you can see, this brush has quite a bit of paint in it. You kind of see it's kind of stuck together. So what we're going to do is we're going to see how well this brush cleaner works on cleaning it up. So I've got this brush cleaner. It's called Master's Brush Cleaner. And I got a water bottle, or a Gatorade bottle. This video is not sponsored by Gatorade. And you wouldn't want to drink this because this is harmful, toxic. It's probably super deadly. It's got heavy metals in it from the paint. It's got paint thinners. It's got all sorts of old oil, so definitely do not drink your oil paint water. Make sure that you can tell the difference. And I don't think I've followed my own rule of making sure I can tell the difference. But anyway, all you need to do with this brush cleaner is take it, dip it in some water. Depending on the type of brush you have, you could be pretty rough with it. And this soap, just let it get right up into the crevices here. Get all up in there. And I'm gonna do a little getting into the nitty gritty here. You gotta work it in here. This is one of my favorite brushes, actually. So, you know, I don't mind spending the time to make sure that it's nice and cleaned. But this is a rewarding part of painting. Yes, the cleaning. I don't mind cleaning brushes because it gives me a moment to step away from a painting and think and just appreciate the art of it. I usually do not enjoy cleaning, but for brushes, I don't mind. So if you've ever wanted to find like an excuse to clean, get into painting. There's tons of cleaning that needs to be done when you're painting. So let's dip this in our water again and bring it back to our cleaning area. What if I played music in the background? So anytime I play music in the background, literally it's happened to me 3 times in a row. People have requested songs, Nate, and they said I got copyright violations. But I also stream on YouTube, so YouTube hits me for copyright, and I think TikTok does too. Like, you're technically not allowed to stream on TikTok with like music, from what I understand. It's like copyright. So as you all can see, it's a little bit better. It's not as dense as before with paint, but I still have some work to do because there's still a lot of soap in it. So I need to really make sure the soap gets out. That's the hard part with cleaning. It isn't the actual cleaning itself. There's so many things that allow a brush to be clean. It's so much cleaner. Cleaning supplies, but it's getting the soap out and the gunk and getting into the brush. But cleaning itself is not too difficult. Yeah, I would love to play music. I would love to just stream music and, you know, have non-stop music playing, but YouTube doesn't like that. I think TikTok, pretty sure TikTok doesn't either. Twitch. I think YouTube at one point, or like some company, released like a number of songs that you could actually live stream. I think it's Twitch. Like if you stream on Twitch, there's like a platform that lets you stream music that's like copyright friendly or something. But only if you're streaming on Twitch or something like that. So anyway, right now, just cleaning as much of the gunk out of my brush as possible, because it's been a while since I've been painting. Let's go ahead and close this up. And woo! My goodness, I've definitely been breathing in lots of paint fumes. So, take a moment to air out this room a little bit. Airing out the room. And here we go. Let's get back to this and let's do some black again. We're gonna go in with our black and we're gonna tighten up some of these areas. So this knuckle's a little bit weird. So we need to round out. We're gonna round out this knuckle. There we go. Rounded out knuckle. I'm gonna push this up a bit. And let's see where we're at. Yeah, okay, there we go. And then I think what we can do is we can round out the shape of this knuckle into here. And there we go. All right, so that little bit of shadow helped it a lot. And what we can also do is we can actually make this entire knuckle, just add in a little bit of black to create like a form or a shadow in it. Add a little bit more black here. It's a little too much, but that's okay. We're gonna blend it a little bit. And here we go. And there we can start to see, you know, the transition of color between the knuckles. And one thing about this knuckle, so I need to go along the edge here and clean this. And I want to brighten up this knuckle, but I can't do it with this black because black won't make it brighter. So, because I need to highlight the shape of the knuckle in order to capture the knuckle, I need to highlight the shape of it. So here we go. And this is also what I'm going to do to round out the form here. Hey, babe. I'm recording, just letting you know.
Yeah, I know.
Did you get my text?
Yes.
Okay.
Which door are you at? The other door?
Huh?
You at the front door?
Yeah. I'm painting again.
Oh, good. Good.
All right. So finding some spaces that need the shadow, and we're gonna help to darken, because just adding a little bit of this black is gonna help to create a better form. And what I also need to do, so I'm trying to decide whether I really need to, what I need to do with this arm, because this is looking a little unnatural, right? Just these super hard edges. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna soften the edges here. So this hand is gonna come out just a bit more.
Some chips if you want.
All right, thanks. And then we're gonna go like this, round this out, and then we're gonna go push the shadow. Push this out a bit further.
I need you to take the garbage can out.
Okay, yeah, sure. Oh, I've not fed them yet, but it's primarily because it wasn't their feeding time earlier. I was gonna feed them earlier, but it's not that time yet. And here we go. So rounding out, really just kind of creating the form and and giving it just a little bit more of a natural feeling arm. And see, one final touch. I'm actually happy with this arm, except for like this little section right here, but you know what, we'll fix that here in a moment. For now, I just gotta wipe this brush off real quick. Just gonna wipe this brush off real quick. You know, as a color, the black can get really hard to get off the brush. I mean, most colors can, but you know, if you ever need to darken something or lighten something, you use black or white. And if you don't clean certain colors off just right, you can there we go. So a little highlight on the knuckle is just enough to do the job. And we're going to add a little bit more right into here. Just to push that wrist, the fold in the wrist a little bit, and just to, we want to carve this out. So we're going to create like a nice hard edge. Boom. When you start to like do those like the hard curve can really start to help make a piece stand out or pop. So softening some of these corners right here just to create it, just to make it less dramatic of a shadow. I mean, it is a really dramatic shadow in this. And, you know, just knowing classical artwork, you know, they love their drama. Classical art loves drama. And classical art really loves drama. And, you know, you create drama by just creating contrast. So this needs to be a little bit more natural. Make that a bit more natural. And of course the wrist bone's going to come out a little bit, and then just form this down. There's like a couple little white specks that I can't get. There we go. How's it look? Yeah. All right, so some fun stuff. Now let's mess it up, people. Let's not keep this all like cute and dainty looking, you know what I mean? Like, let's have some fun with it. So let's go like this. What do I want to do? I'm gonna push this up. You know, one thing that's always inspired me, I don't know if everybody know who Banksy is, but if you don't know, there's this really successful artist. Originally he was like anonymous. I don't know if he's anonymous anymore, but Banksy, it's worth looking up. Created a lot of amazing work, and he sold a painting or a drawing for like, I don't know, like $5 million. I'm just making it up. It was like a lot of money. And at the end of after the bid and the bid was finalized, the whole part, it got put into a shredder. And for whatever reason, that always inspired me. Like, you know, I don't know the meaning, what the artist intended. I mean, obviously he or she intended to shred it, but you know, it just made me think of this idea of, for lack of a better term, not being too precious with your work, you know, and to realize, and this is just my interpretation, to realize that, like, you know, not everything, you know, things aren't permanent, and to
Mike,
all right, see ya. That
So,
like
you
things.
still feed this way?
All right, yeah. That like, you know, things aren't permanent, and
Bye.
Bye.
You know,
I'll give them some drop
allow
to it.
things to be, to just be. And don't be afraid to, like, you know, mess things up. So that's what we're going to do with this hand. We're going to give this some fun too. And let's see, how do I want to do that? Haven't decided yet. So I'm trying to plan that right now. But let's see, how do we want to play with this arm? I want to give it some of this touch.
Okay.
So I'll keep it pretty similar. I liked what I did with this, in the sense of it's like a light green on top of yellow. So I'm thinking that we're gonna do excuse me. We either need to go with that same green. I might as well use that same green and put it on top of the blue. So let's do that. Let's get this brush again. What brush did I use? I don't even remember. I used a bigger brush. Which brush? What brush did I use for that effect? Maybe it was this one? Yeah, we'll go with this brush again. And here we go. So I'm gonna go grab this green. We're gonna do this minty green again. Let's do this minty green, and we're just gonna pop this minty green into our arm here. In a wide variety of ways. Minty green. And you know what? We're gonna mix in a little bit of this yellow. Let's mix in some red too. I'm gonna just make it pop, you know? I'm pretty happy with his arm as far as just a simple two-tone, three-tone arm is, but you know, always gotta spice things up. I always like to spice things up a little bit. And my way of spicing things up is often is inspired by around the Impressionists styles of just making these very thick brush marks. And I'm kind of failing that because my brush marks aren't very thick. Where I can, you know, check myself as I'm realizing that, you know, it's lacking in its bold expressiveness. Where I'm being a little too dainty, too precious with this, which you know, maybe it's for a good reason. I don't know. A little too dainty here. Too dainty with my paint laying down of paint. Yeah, I think like once you get the colors down, you know, once I got like the base foundation of this color, once I got like the base foundation of these colors, I think it's, you know, it's a time where you can really start to push things, push the boundaries a little bit more. So here we go. We're gonna go around on the outer edge here with our blue. I'm going to go with our blue. And what do I want to do down here? I need to add something into the darker spaces. So I'm thinking, actually, you know what? Let me finish up some of this arm area. I want to bring in this blue and green. Something in between this blue and green, and we're gonna go pop that in. Just pop it into these areas. And here we go. So we're just gonna keep pushing that and pushing it. And we're gonna go, let's see. So I feel like I've gotten this design pretty well done. So let's go with some red around the outside. Pop it in like a dark purple. Yes, there we go. We're getting like a purple in. So let's get this purple and just kind of form the shape around. And yeah, that adds a little bit of highlight into the wrists, and you can just see a little bit of extra character placed into this. And there we have it. I think that has easily, quickly transformed this into something a little different than it was. Just these extra bit of brushwork that, you know, gives a little piece of yourself. Because, you know, you just got to think, like, every single one of these like strokes is going to be totally different no matter who. Even if someone was to like I feel like there's not a single artist on the planet who would like look at a painting and look at this painting, assuming, you know, anyone would want to copy it and be like, oh, I'm going to do these exact strokes as he did them exactly. And when I say exactly, I mean the exact length and everything. You know, I think with doing this type of work, what really helps is to just realize that everybody's strokes are going to be different strokes for different folks, right? And, you know, your habits, whether you're doing like long strokes or like quick strokes like this, using different colors, it's like so many options. Everybody, I mean, this is just a way that everybody can really add their own flavor. You know, once you get like the base layer and some realism done, you know, you can really play with whatever is at hand here. At hand, get it? So just adding into our purple, let's just do a crisscross right across this. This little crisscross. Nice little crisscross. I'm gonna make noises as I do this. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Give it some dimension here. Give it some movement, action. I'm gradually pushing myself to paint bigger and bigger. But this is like, oops. This is my, I have this like system where I graduate myself to bigger and bigger paintings. So I started really small. These are some of my, early paintings. This is one of my early paintings. You know, just a small little, I don't even know the size of this, like 6. I think this is still one of my bigger small paintings. This is like my graduated from the smallest to my second smallest. So as you can tell, you know, I think painting big is easier than painting small. Because when you're painting big, you know, you can take these like little creases and you can really make them, you can take these little creases and you can, you know, add your own flair to it, and they kind of have like a design, but you know, if you try to do these creases on a piece like this, you're just gonna have like these, you know, this line right here for a pair of glasses on this small painting is about as big as this line that I'm using for the creases in the knuckle. But, you know, it's pretty much the same width. But what happens is because, you know, this is so small, it just doesn't, you know, you have to stylize it. And I think we've come quite a long way. So let's see. I'm gonna do one more arm. I think this is gonna be my arm piece, my arm painting. I'm gonna do an arm here. And I've got like the energy and focus for probably one more piece before I exhaust myself. I haven't been painting in a while. It's been a couple weeks since I picked up one of these paintbrushes, and you know, it actually feels pretty nice. It's like, I guess that's why it's good to like step away from what you're normally doing and come back. Now, I've been doing artwork. I haven't stopped drawing, haven't stopped, you know, doing oil pastels or whatever. You know, I think if you totally stop, you'll be like, you know, you come back and you won't feel fresh. But I think if you at least take a break from the same medium and try a different one, and you know, you do a specific exercise. Like for me, I was doing pretty much the same exercise but with oil pastels. And you know what? Coming back, I feel like if I hadn't drawn or painted for the last 3 weeks or a month that I haven't painted, I'd probably be pretty scared. You know, I'm not like, you know, cowering in a corner with fear, sweating, and, you know, not wanting to show my face on camera scared, but like, you know, I'd be kind of nervous, like, oh, did I forget how to draw? Did I forget how to paint? Like, what are the rules of painting? How do I, you know, get this effect or that effect? And I feel like if I hadn't done anything, I would probably have that worry. But, you know, fortunately, I didn't totally stop. And, you know, I kept up with the exercises that are helpful, that are conducive to keeping up with things. And I think that helps to build confidence, you know. If you're ever like, oh, I don't have time to draw, I don't have time to paint, I don't have time to, you know, do this or that, or if you don't have time to paint or don't have time for oil pastels or watercolor, but you want to like keep the skill, what's like the simplest thing you could do? Just draw, you know, doodle, sketch, come up with ideas. So anyway, let's see. Thanks for all the love, Nate. Thank you. And I'm gonna you help keep me going, my friend. So just cleaning off this brush right now. And there we go. So it's pretty clean now. Let's do one more arm, shall we? I'm gonna do another arm. Let's see, I wonder if I can invite people to join this live. Like, who do I know? Oh, nobody that I know is, nobody that I know. Bitter Water Clan. Let me finish up this next arm, and then we'll do something something different. Sketch a couple portraits in here. Let's go like this. All right. All right, so let's see. Yeah, this is, honestly, I will say that like just using these colors I don't think I would have used these colors if it wasn't for jumping into oil pastels. Like, I wouldn't have felt as confident. So doing that exercise, stepping back from painting, going into oil pastels and working totally from, you know, colors that are atypical, that like totally not using traditional skin color, which would be, I would probably would have mixed like red, yellow ochre, some yellow to make these colors. But now that, you know, I definitely feel like oil pastels were great in helping to build color confidence. And when I say color confidence, I mean, you know, trying different colors on things. Now, I guess like if I was to paint a person, like a full person, and like do their portrait, I mean, it would be hard to like, I don't know. I mean, would I have to justify these colors if I was to do their portrait in these colors? I don't know. I guess it depends on the person, but yeah. Anyway, let's see. Yellow, blue. Let's do the last arm with a. We're gonna use this like dark red, purple red here that we have. That's what we're gonna do for our final arm. We're gonna start down here. All right, so I'm gonna start the next arm. It's a different shape arm, so starting down here, line number 1, line number 2. And then line number 3. Let's continue line 2, and then make a smaller line just a little bit further down. I'm gonna give myself a little bit extra leeway. And then let's see, so we're gonna come around, pop this down. And then get the last 2 knuckles. It's gonna be 2 knuckles, pretty much about that length. So we're gonna go bam. Basically just creating our own little like coloring book, you know? Just making our own little coloring book. Pretty straightforward. No magic. I mean, it is like magic, but no like magic. Let's see, we're gonna pop this. That's about the same length. A little bit longer than that. Let's just go a little bit longer. Okay, tighten up this corner. Bring that up and then straight across. Oh, I don't know if I'm gonna have enough space. We'll see. Well, hopefully we have enough space here. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to have enough space. Yikes. What do I do? What should I have done? I mean, this should definitely be able to fit here, so I'm definitely just drawing too big. So I need to make this, let's make this a bit smaller. Let's do this. This arm needs to be right around. Alright, so I have to try and fit everything on here, like right here. That's going to be the edge. So let's see if I can do that. Let's work on fitting all of that right there. The proportion might be off, but that's okay. So this needs to be a little bit shorter. It's going to come up right around there. Oh no, what are we gonna do? So I just have to make an adjustment, right? I have to kind of make up my own arm, basically. So let's do this. Increase the width of that. As you can tell, this one will probably be a lot messier than my other ones, but that's okay. We're gonna make this work. I don't know how, but we will. So let's go like this. We got the bicep right there, and then right around here. You know, all I need to do is just extend this arm out a little bit. So let's go like this, flatten it out a bit. Oh no, what do I do? I just gotta adjust the sketch, because this is definitely, my drawing is way bigger than it needs to be. So I'm gonna do this arm ending right around here. And then no. So if this is going to be right here. So this is going to go up, around, and up right here. Come on. Some problem solving. I gotta. What's up, TTP? Yeah, I've made lots of progress. I made a couple different arms here. And let's go like this. So this needs to go down like so. Yeah, what's going? Were you the one that said you had an exam or something? Welcome back. There we go. This is how I usually sketch when I'm like drawing or something. Okay. Well, we're gonna work with this and see where it takes us. And I think the only way to really make this work is to just be super loose with it. So let's go like this. And we're gonna tighten up the bottom of the arm here. And this is gonna come around. Oh yeah, I forgot some of the shapes that are in this hand right here, so. Too sharp of an angle. So we're going to tighten this like this. Pop this down. And then pop that up. This is gonna be my messiest one, but no, you do have exams, so you go study. Hey, awesome. Well, thanks for jumping back in, TTP. You said you're gonna do some artwork, right? Once you're done with school, is that your goal? Is to knock out some artwork when you're finished? So that's that. This is the second hand that's gonna come across and go up. And then pop this, cut across like so. So how am I gonna make this look good? We'll find out, because that's a mystery to me too. Yeah, you make, all right, well, you make masks. I've been wanting to make a mask out of one of my drawings. I've been wanting to make a mask out of this. So I'm probably gonna like print out a bunch of I'm gonna print out a mask and just enlarge it and then make this a mask. It's my self-portrait. Alright, so let's get in here. I'm gonna do this and get the dark shadow here. It's going to come around. That's going to be a shadow like so. And let's get into the knuckles. So the knuckle is going to get really dark right here. This is a dark knuckle. And of course, at the same time, we want to start rounding out and softening some of the edges here to make it feel more natural. And then the pinky is definitely going to have a lot of shadow into the pinky. Come around and get the knuckle form here. And it's gotten really messy down here, but just gonna have to make it work. Let's see, so this is gonna come around. We're gonna add a little bit of shadow right there. One thing that was hard to get, like a cat mask. Hey, that's fun. What do you make them out of? Paper mache, or do you make them out of real materials, plastic? One thing also about paint that's awesome is paint can be really predictable. I mean, you could do the same thing with oil pastels too. So if you were to use oil pastels and you use paint thinner or oil, you could really kind of move the oil pastel to mix colors. But if you're just using oil pastel by itself, the colors don't really mix. So one thing that's great about oil paint is you can kind of predict, hey, if I put white over here, I know that the white is going to blend in with this purple red, and it's going to create a lighter purple red. But with oil pastels, if you kind of mix the white there, it's not really going to blend together as well as oil paints. So that's one of the challenges that can pop up with if you're switching back and forth, but it's fun. So if I search up cat mask on Google, it'll pop up. Yeah? Are you one of the top cat mask makers, TTP? Are you one of the top cat mask makers on the planet? That is quite an achievement, if you are. I have one of the top cat mask makers in the planet on my YouTube channel. Let's just say you are, just for fun. No one's gonna fact check. The only person that will probably be upset is the real person who's the official greatest cat mask maker on the planet. They'll probably be upset if they find out, but they probably won't. So there we go. We got this shadow. I feel like this is gonna come up. We gotta bring this, come up, bring that, and then. All right. Do I have any pets? Yeah, we got two pets. So one of the cats doesn't like to be held. No, actually both the cats don't like to be held. But here, look. I'll show you one of them. The other one's like laying in his bed, and I don't want to go pick him up because my hands have gloves on them. But this one's sitting on a chair right now. She's chilling on a chair. Can you see her? Can you see her right? Fern! Hey, Fern! Yep, there she is right there. There's our cat. She doesn't like to be picked up. And then there's a parakeet in the background. In her big old cage right there. A parakeet. But yeah, got a couple pets here. And now let's get this arm. I'm going to use a big color. So this I did black and blue. So anybody, pick a color besides yellow and blue. Anybody can pick a color besides yellow and blue. Anybody can do this. Just throw it a color in the chat. And we're going to do this next arm with that color. I probably should have thought about that before I started. But if anybody wants to throw out a color. Well, I said besides yellow and blue. I already did this arm in blue. So I want to do this with a different one. So you got a couple options. I mean, you got purple, you got red, you got green. What does everybody want? Anybody want a Hulk arm? All right, since nobody wants to name another color, I know Nate already said blue, and I did this one. No color except yellow and blue. So we'll go with a green. Let's make this into a Hulk arm. And you know what? It works perfect because red is a complementary color to green. Oh my goodness, this paintbrush has gotten so hard, I need to give it a nice cleaning. This is a good brush too. It's a Rosemary & Co. brush. Oh, pink. All right, perfect. Let's do pink. I would not have thought of pink. I don't know why. Because I was thinking of every other color of the rainbow, and for whatever reason, pink just didn't resonate with me. But now that you said it, we're going to go with pink. Let's get some water on this. We're just cleaning up this brush. All right. I'm gonna clean off this brush a little first because this is one of my good brushes, and it's sad to see it start to be more malformed. I mean, all my brushes are pretty good, but this is one of my really favorite expensive brushes. Well, I could see some of the paint like literally just coming off of this. The little chunks of paint. So let's dive back into our soap again. Yeah, pink would be a cute arm. We're gonna go with a pink arm. Let's do that, people. Taking audience recommendations here. Yes. I don't say interactive artist just to make stuff up. That's what we do. We're interactive and we're artists. Can you believe that how those words go together? So here we go. Let's do this. We're gonna color up. I just want to finish using this brush. So this brush is definitely for like more delicate work. Like if you want to do like super fine delicate work, I would use this brush. So TTP, what kind of exam you got? What kind of exam are you working on? Alright, so we've done a little cleaning. Let's get some of this paint off using our oil. I'm gonna dip it in our oil again to get it nice and clean. Then put it in our paint thinner. To make sure that all the paint comes off. Now let's go with pink. So we're gonna mix our own pink. So TTP, I don't know if you're here, but what are you thinking? Are you thinking like a hot pink or like a natural pink? What kind of pink would you like to see? Like a hot pink or like a natural skin tone color pink? I'm thinking hot pink. Let's do hot pink. Because I already have the color mixed. So this is, they call this a light magenta. So this is a light magenta, and it ends up being like a hot pink, Pepto-Bismol pink. And all I need to do, excuse me, is I really just need to add some white, and we're gonna lighten it. Add some white and lighten it, and that's how we're going to get our pink. So here we go. Yes, like a nice soft light pink. And let's do this. So first of all, the very top of this, actually let me just go to the places that, let's paint this in. So this one's going to be quite different than our other ones because not only am I using like a very, this is a brush that blends things very easily. So what's going to happen is I'm going to pull a lot of the color from the side. It's going to create like an effect. Definitely in order to do this piece, this arm, I need to really be a lot looser with my paint job. So here we go. I'm gonna go down into here, really get the softness of the knuckle here. And then we're gonna go around the fist. So these are Rosemary & Co. brushes. They can get pretty expensive, but they're very unique because they're very soft. And there's a lot of things that, you know, it's not the brush that makes the artist, it really isn't. But you can create certain effects that are just like that are like much softer. If you're looking for like super fine detail, like blending natural parts of the body and or whatever, if you need to blend colors, there's some things that you could do with these brushes that you just can't do with like other rough brands. When I say rough, I mean like so these are made of a badger hair. So badger hair is like a softer brush bristle. But there's also another one I like to use is hog hairs, because I'm a much gruffer painter. I paint very roughly. And with hog hair, you know, it's a much stiffer bristle. So you're not going to be able to do like delicate blending effects. Let's see, this piece, I'm going to cut into there. And let's go around. So here we go. Bringing in this pink. Let's go form into these crevices of the hand here. Form into these crevices. And then we're going to go up here, get down. And eventually what we will need to do is we need to make it much tighter. We need to tighten up some of the features of this hand, but for now I think I'd get away with just laying down the base colors of these. Yeah, there we go. It's starting to come around. Hey Nate, thanks so much. I know you're probably gone by now, but thank you for jumping in. Hope you have a great rest of your evening or afternoon. I'll probably be gone by the time you come back, but that's cool. We'll chat next time. Hopefully by the time you get your drawings that I sent over. And here we go. So we're gonna pop that in. So we're just popping these colors into the space, but still keeping it fairly loose. And as you could tell, it's pretty. You could pretty easily see the shape. But one thing, I made this finger a little too big, and the angle of the wrist is really twisted because I pushed it a little too far to the edge. But you know what? You do what you got to do, and you got to make stuff happen. You make it happen. Sometimes you just got to work with what you did. So here we go. I'm gonna paint in this pink around the top here. I'm gonna go like so. Let's add, we're gonna add a blue nail. Let's add a blue nail to this tip right here. The nails are gonna be blue. And we'll fix that nail a little later. For now, we're gonna give them blue nails. And so we got our black, we got our red. Got to think of a good color to go around the outside of this one. All right, let's think about this. What's a good color that goes on top of pink? Pink. Pink is a white version of red. So red, green. So we're gonna go with a green. We're gonna go with a light version of our green. Let's use that mint up, shall we? Let's use up some of this paint and like go into our section here. And go. Let's be. Bam. I love just pushing paint around, just in like. Bam. And then. Bam. Bam. All right, cool. Get this color off. Yes, a blue fingernail. Oh, are you saying to paint the background blue? You know what? That might be good. Let's do a blue background. Actually, you know, there's not enough green. I feel like I really just want to use up this green that I got. Like, I really am considering blue because, you know, it's just, all of these are kind of like such typical colors. You know, black and yellow, blue and red, or blue and orange, bright red, but I want to use up this green. So we're gonna do the green. And we're gonna put some blue on top of the green. So we will get that color for you. But let's lay this down. I need to use a much rougher brush here because this brush is just too gentle. This is too gentle for my painting style. And let me show y'all exactly what I'm talking about instead of just talking about it. Because we are doing a visual, art is such a visual experience, obviously, unless you're a musician, which I'm not a musician. So let's see. So if you can see this, let me just share this with some of you. So as y'all can see, I'll do it close for TikTok first. As you can see, this brush, I don't know if you can see how soft this brush looks, but if you look at this brush, I don't know if you could tell the quality of hardness or softness, but we're going to show the quality of hardness or softness of this brush. So, you know, you can see this brush kind of bounces back, and that's because it's kind of hard. But this brush, if I was to bend it backwards, it kind of keeps its shape a little bit. It's much softer. I don't know how else to describe the texture. But it definitely has a softness to it. So anyway, let's go with our green again. I say a lot, don't I, people? Who's judging me? Raise your hand. Alright, let's go with this mint green. We're just going to have fun with it. We're just going to lay it down. Let's just lay down this mint green. And this last arm will be quite a different arm. I'm going to go for something more chaotic. Reduce the size of this hand. It's a little bit too big. finger's way too big. Needs to cut right around here. So let's do that. Let's cut this down right around here. You know, we're out of this green, and I don't feel like opening the tube again. So we're gonna pull our blue out of this. We're gonna bring in our blue. And just mix these two beautiful, like, baby colors. Are like light blue. This finger looks so jacked up, but let's see what I need to do to adjust that. Thumb's too big too, but we'll fix it. Or we can just keep it like it is. We can just let it be. Allow the, let it be funky. As someone recently said to me, there's no such things as mistakes, only new directions. Yeah, no such things as mistakes, only new directions. You know what, maybe we'll stick with that idea and paint this in. Get this pink in there. We'll be fun and loose with this piece. Even looser. I feel like this is blended it a bit too much, but yeah, you can still see the semblance of some crazy looking arm. Let me use up some of our black too. I want to do that, so we're gonna go crease in the arm right here. Crease, like a triangle of a crease here. And we're gonna go right along the top front of this knuckle. And then we're going to go deeper with our black here. Let's go into this hand. And there we go. And then here we go. So adding in some of our shadows. And I think from a distance, it's funny because like paintings look so different when you're just looking at it from a distance. Because looking at this up close, you just get so close to it, and the shadows like can really look off. But when you look at it from a distance, things seem to make more sense. One of the secrets of painting is make sure that people see your painting from a distance. Joking. Serious, but also joking. Here we go. So there we go. All right. We got the shadows pretty well. The knuckles look okay. And yeah, with that, I think we're good to go. So let's get loose with this one, huh? We're gonna go I'm gonna go up into this space up here and just paint words. Just gonna paint words of people who have helped to support this and thank people for being here as we wrap this up. Let's use a big brush. So we'll start with some blue. I'm gonna say TikTok and TTP. TikTok. Thanks, Nate plus TT. Hey, Brecken Coach. All right, thanks, Brecken. So we got, I'm gonna just throw a bunch of names up on here, huh? Who's been here today? We got Brecken just tuned in. Marianne, TTP. I don't think. Let's see, Gwen. TTP, Gwen. TTP. Just throw up random names. Nate. Nate rocks. Nate rocks there. Threw up a name. Let's see. Blue one. Yeah, so let's see. TTP. I don't know. TTPD, right? I don't know what to call y'all when you don't have like regular name. Brecken. Since you're new, I'll put a B for you to symbolize you, and then M. These are just letters that for the wonderful people that were here. And draw my signature face. I feel like this face has probably been done before, but I'm calling it my signature face. Let's just take some of this black and just like go do stuff with it. Let's do stuff with this color. You know, I want to play with paint. I want to make it look like I was being expressive, you know? How do you create the illusion of expressiveness? You do the painting really seriously first, and then you go over it with a bunch of stuff. I wouldn't take any of the words that I say too seriously. I just kind of like make stuff up on the go sometimes. And yes. L-I-V-E. What's today's date? 6/06/02/2024. Live 6/2/2024. You were here. All of you. Alright. Boom, boom. Let's make this holding something. Let's give this something to hold here. What was it holding? Something red. A flower, right? I guess that's a flower. Let's go pull in some of this green. Let's get blue. Let's give stuff to these, to all of these wonderful things that are here. Give them character. All right, we're gonna give this arm. Let's see, what should we do with this arm? Let's give it a square. We're just gonna paint a square on top of it to get rid of its It's like roundness. And let's see, what do we do? Give that one a flower. Let's do let's go like this. Let's do some of the pink here. Oh yeah, we got to give this guy some pink nails. How about that? Let's do pink on yellow. So we're gonna do some pink nails right over here. Oh, pink's not really showing up. Come on, pink. Don't be shy. There we go. Some pink nails. How's that? And let's get a lot of this pink. So underrated, better than Bob Ross, dude, or Dudette Brecken. You are such a great friend to say such amazing, kind words. I guess we should draw a mountain, right? Since we're talking about Bob Ross, let's do a mountain here. There we go. There's a mountain. Mountain of greatness. Paint some green little trees right here. Green trees on a mountain. And in Bob Ross fashion, always need like some water source, right? Source of water. So there we go. See, that's my Bob Ross painting right there. Just kidding. Bob Ross deserves a lot of respect. Really. Like, you know, although I feel his art, you know, I wouldn't really, if I just saw his art randomly and I didn't know it was Bob Ross, I would be like, okay, cool, like, that's a nice painting. But, you know, just knowing how he was able to help so many people get into art and how he was able to, like, talk and give, like, words of wisdom and share inspiration and, like, just do so much for people as, like, the first art live streamer, live broadcaster. Maybe there was others before him, but he's the only one that's known. I mean, you know, that is a gift that he gave. So let's see, what else? I'm trying to think of what else. Let's just do like a black line. I'm just gonna do a black line coming out of this arm right here from the B for Brecken. B for Brecken, just boom. Oh, no, I'm not getting much black right there. B for Brecken, B for black. And then one day someone will ask, why is there a black line just coming out of this? And the answer will be, who knows? Who knows what was going on in his mind? You have to watch through, you know, hundreds of hours of streaming video to figure that out. All right, so here we go. What do I want to do? What do I want to do? Grab this black and grab some of this red. I've used up so much paint today. I've used up at least like a couple tubes worth of small tubes. Every painting needs like a symbol. What do you want me to look at? I don't know. Alright, here we go. Right there. There's some pink lines. There's some pink lines across. This is my favorite part of painting. But I wouldn't want to do this like for hours at a time. Just like randomly putting stuff all over the place. But after I've like finished or like done like a couple of fun pieces, I definitely like this idea of just, you know, throwing up whatever comes to mind. go. So I'm just going to sign this and we're good to go. We're going to call this a finished day. I've been working a few hours on this. Actually, probably just like 2 hours. Let's see, how long have I been streaming? 3 hours, 21 minutes. So Brecken, your initial has made it onto this wonderful, wonderful painting. And hope you'll stay tuned for another show, another day. But for now, as I'm wrapping up, I just want to say thanks to everybody who was here. I just got to add some initials and we'll be good to go. Let's do this. Red. I love signing my initials with red. I mean, signing with red. So, E. Dot. E-R-G-U-S-O-N. There we go. And with that, wonderful people, as I start to close up my supplies, I feel like Mr. Rogers trying to wrap up the evening. What would Mr. Rogers say? I can't say I ever watched Mr. Rogers. What would Mr. Rogers say? Good night, my friends. Hope you all have a welcome. Hope you come hang out in the neighborhood or something. I was never a Mr. Rogers fan. Yeah, so you have to close this up. So this is a actual device. This is a thing that allows you to lock in and seal your paint so that it can last another day. And oh yeah, I still got a couple other things to close with. Let's close this. Close this. Painting. A lot more work is involved with getting paint set up compared to pastels, but it is totally worth the effort. Oil painting is worth the effort. Or just painting in general. Art in general is worth the effort. But that said, I think that's it for the cleanup. And I just want to say, everybody, thank you for being here, and we'll come back another time. Take care. Have a great evening. Goodbye.